overlap on the decks between these two. Unless I read the wrong one. I did, I think. Doesn't matter. There's still no overlap. Plunder, Rally, Sivir on the side of Roji. Lee, Thralls, Field of Rush on the side of Mtucks. And we're going to start off with Sivir Akshan versus Thralls.
All right. This we have not seen as much today. Actually, wow. Is this, dare I say it, it's been a little bit since we've seen Sivir Akshan.
Yeah, only two of it making its way to the top cut. You know what I noticed? No Scion in top cut. 0 Scion.
Like, wait, none at all?
Like, that's what 0 means, dipshit.
Wow. Really? Wow. Wow. All right. I'm going to... Just call me dipshit on stream? Like, what the heck? Oh my god. Is that allowed? Is that legal? Can we do that here? Like, God.
No one ever said I couldn't curse on this stream.
No holds barred at OLS, man. Like, Jesus, what is this?
I think there was a solid like 5 OLSs in a row where I made the stream rated PG-13 and slipped in my one F word.
Yeah. I don't think stream has never been PG-13. Let's be honest here.
It is. I only slip in one F word. You're not allowed any. I take it every time.
All right. Finals, baby. Don't forget, after the finals, we're going to be doing one final giveaway. I saw the raid there from Runeterra Live, so thank you very much for the raid. If you guys stick around, we got some 500 coins to give away. So we'll see who wins and get some free stuff while we do it.
Yeah, and right now, Mtucks not looking to be in a terrible spot. There's no rally in the hand of Roji, so you don't have to worry about the game randomly ending. Of course, Mtucks has to worry about it. We, as the viewers, don't have to worry about it as much. And I think this clock hand might be able to actually get the multiple thralls down. One more countdown card, and we are in a phenomenal spot. But even barring that, I think that without a spell shield on the Sivir, and of course now with this Taliyah top deck, got a pretty good shot at stalling it out.
Yeah, and we've seen this a lot from Thralls today. The biggest thing to keep an eye out for is the promising futures, right? So we have one already in hand. If we're able to get this multiple trigger off on this promising future, which we're actually 1 mana of the away from the good old Taliyah promising future play this turn. Maybe that's a next turn thing. Who knows? But if we're able to get that off, that is usually a huge swing in the favor of the Thrall player. And that's what I'm going to keep my eye on over the next couple of turns here. So we'll see if that happens. In the meantime, Roji kind of developing a little bit of a threat here. Kind of a wide board. This turn, pretty good attack. I'm not going to lie. I'm curious to see what Mtucks throws down as a defense. Probably thinking I don't want to waste this Taliyah yet without playing the promising future first. So we'll see if Mtucks throws her down as a
there's
blocker.
already one promising future on that Thrall.
Oh, is it played earlier? Sorry, I was not.
Yeah, so
yeah,
if you double promising future that one and then Taliyah it, it's very difficult to summon 6 Thralls at once.
That might be an issue. Yeah, board space is a thing.
So one thing that Mtucks could do here is if we block this Vekker on Bruiser and no health buffs come out from the Lucky Find, we can actually use this promising future on the Blighted Ravine to wipe the board.
All right, double for Demacia in hand too.
That's a very scary. Yeah, I think you need to play a blocker here.
Yeah.
It's a scary proposition. You still don't have mana for the flash freeze off of this Three Sisters, but at the very least, you're not taking as much damage. Gonna fall down to 7 anyway, and we've got that Blighted Ravine Avalanche for the following turn. And still, again, no rally on the side of Roji does mean that we are not going to die, but it's one of those things that Mtucks is definitely going to have to keep in the back of their mind. Really, any Blighted Ravine deck. Anytime you play that Blighted Ravine and your opponent just says, okay, well, I guess I'm going to rally, and you're down all that unit mana, it can be backbreaking.
Yeah, and Mtucks is just one top deck away from just being able to kind of accelerate those countdowns just a little bit more, and we can start getting these Thralls out. Because if we don't get a couple Thralls out by the time Roji's next attack turn comes, we're in trouble.
Any countdown card, and Mtucks is in a phenomenal position.
Yep.
Even if it's just Imagined Possibilities, you are at least getting 4 Thralls at the start
not
of
clock hand, though. Not clock hand.
Not,
yes,
yeah,
okay, Curator works. Curator works.
Good. Good job, Curator. We might even promising future a Thrall and then Curator it just to get 3 Thralls out of that one. We're going to start off with the Avalanche, though. And with the rally picked up on the side of Roji, things now get a little bit more complicated, especially as Sivir will start
Ooh.
spreading overwhelm around.
Ooh, this actually, that sharp sight plays right into now the Blighted Ravine. So, and this is perfect for Mtucks. Clockwork Curator and the Blighted Ravine. I mean, we're going to have blockers next turn. We're going to seemingly have a full board clear. I mean, we could save a unit with Riposte, but that seems terrible. We're going to... Okay, so, all right, nope. We're just going to go with the... We're going to go with the board full of Thralls instead of the Blighted Ravine. Or not, all right?
Yeah, I mean, so Roji has the rally now. So if Mtucks plays this promising future, I would imagine Roji throws down the rally.
Oh, yep.
Mtucks will still have 4 blockers, though. I mean, we still have the mana for the Clockwork Curator. That's going to come down, give us 3 Thralls.
Yep. And which means we only take 3 damage, so we are still alive, and we have all these blockers. Oh no, because we actually have. I'm forgetting the Clockwork Curator as the blocker too. So yeah.
Yeah, so probably just gonna. Oh wow, sacrificing the entire board.
Okay, that doesn't seem.
I think so obviously Sivir is going to survive. I'm pretty sure a damage gets pushed through on one of these Vanguard Sergeants because I think Sivir levels and spreads the overwhelm. We're actually debating. Okay, I was gonna say there was a debate to block the Bruiser with the Clockwork Curator so that you don't lose a Thrall to Shaped Stone because there is of course 1 mana represented on the side of Roji. Mtucks kind of deciding how he wants these blocks to go. The overwhelm on the Sivir does make this very complicated, especially as she will level on that first strike. We finally line it up. That means the Curator is dying for nothing. The rest of the units getting softened up a bit. I mean, now that all the Thralls are damaged, you're really not out of the woods, right? This Sivir still has overwhelm. You're down to 6. You do have the flash trees available, though. Like, things are still looking very good for Mtucks, who actually I think just has lethal here on the crackback. I forgot he had the attack token.
That's I was gonna say that's too much overwhelm damage coming
there was
through.
An attack token for Mtucks. Yeah, that's just lethal.
And that's why Roji threw up the Nocturne emote there too at the end. So that's gonna be Mtucks, not Roji. Put down the wrong one. Taking home a victory with Thralls. Probably one of the reasons. I mean, it looked like Thralls pretty handedly just dealt with Sivir Akshan there. That's probably one of the reasons why we really haven't seen Sivir Akshan have that much success. It's really weird for us to be... We're doing this tournament yesterday and today, Boulevard, and Sivir Akshan and Draven Scion are both... I don't want to say non-existent, but like don't seem to have a hold on the meta like they once did.
Sivir's in the finals, and this man's like, it doesn't have a hold on the meta.
All right. We did not see Sivir Akshan like at all today until just now.
And Sivir Akshan doesn't have a good Plunder matchup. And it doesn't have a good Scion matchup. And that's pretty much, if you're wondering where Sivir went, that's the story. Is it doesn't beat Plunder and it doesn't beat Scion.
Yep. But if Scion's out of the mix, maybe we see it resurface a little bit.
I mean, obviously we see Roji make it to the finals of the deck, despite, Plunder being one of the more popular decks here on the weekend. Scion obviously still had a presence throughout the Swiss rounds. But now going to have to take down Feel the Rush. And honestly, with this deck as well as Plunder, I would assume. I don't think Mtucks has been on the banned Plunder train, probably banned that elusive rally. So even if Roji wins this one, has a little bit of an uphill battle.
Yeah, and I think... Typically, I feel like Mtucks is going to have a pretty good game versus Roji with this deck as well. I mean, there's just so much removal. There's so many ways to deal with the board of GrandpaRoji, and there's a lot of heal to get back in the game as well. Let's not forget Ruination. I mean, Ruination is a thing in this deck that generally Sivir Akshan, up until most recently with Feel the Rush decks, hasn't really had to deal with a whole lot. Yep, there's the Vile Feast taking down Akshan here.
At least debating it. It's going to line it up again. And without Akshan leveling and seeing the Warlord's Palace count down to give you the Horde, the Sivir Akshan deck can really struggle to hang on to cards. Akshan is like one of your big engines for maintaining things, as you're kind of throwing out combat tricks after combat tricks in order to save all your units. Not sure that really comes to fruition much in this matchup in particular, but...
Yeah, I feel like these Spiderling chump blockers are actually, they're so crucial for Mtucks, just sucking up another attack from Roji here. We do see the Sivir early as well as the Merciless Hunter though, so this is looking like this attack turn and the next could be pretty big for Roji, depending on how Mtucks deals with it. Vengeance not that great versus this matchup. thanks to Sivir's spell shield, so we're going to feel really good about that. So Sivir might actually stick around for a while. Now let that Vile Feast get used. I'm actually curious. I'm actually surprised to see that Vile Feast get thrown out earlier so willy-nilly, you know, just knowing that we need to take care of spell shield. But okay, we're going to use the Withering Mist instead. Still accomplishes the same goal.
You say willy-nilly, it killed an Akshan.
I mean, no, it didn't do nothing. It didn't do nothing. But, like, I feel like generally when you're going up against decks with spell shield, the consideration when you're playing Vile Feast is to save Vile Feast to pop the spell shield, especially if you need
That's
to on
what
the
your
stack,
sweepers
right?
are for. Avalanche will take care of the spell
Yeah,
shield.
yeah.
You worry too much, Doza.
There is, yeah, I guess in Mtucks' defense there's a ton of ways to pop spell shields with this deck, so.
Mtucks is going to be in a bit of trouble. I was going to say, is going to be in a bit of trouble if he doesn't do anything here, because Roji, going into his attack turn with the Palace at 1, could, like, sharp-sight a unit, use the Palace to summon a Sandstone Charger, and just go in for a massive open attack.
Don't even need to when you can just summon Akshan. So...
Yep. I mean, the trouble coming down as a blocker is what sort of deters that. So still a very wide field on the side of Roji, very powerful. And Mtucks doesn't have a great answer here, Doza. No Ruination, no big sweepers or Avalanche. Not that Avalanche would even do anything. It'd have to be a Trundle's Icequake to try and sort of contest this board. Instead, going to have to play a blocker and just hope that this Vengeance is enough.
Yeah. Yeah, this is definitely a rough spot. I mean, so Mtucks lives here for sure. But it's going to be close. And we might have to... Vengeance almost always gets used on Sivir here, right? Like, now that the spell shield's gone, there's no way to protect Sivir on the side of Roji.
Actually, what does it look like if we Sandstone Charger and play for Demacia? Does Mtucks still live here? Probably.
At 16, I think so, yeah, without doing the math.
Because you've got 2 blockers and a Vengeance.
Yeah, I think you're good. That Aberration Sentry is actually really huge here. Question is, how do we line up these blocks? I imagine Trundle probably on Akshan. I guess it comes down to how concerned about your health are you. What do you want to actually prevent here as far as damage is concerned? Looks like we're lining up the Vengeance onto the Sivir. And yeah, when all is said and done, that's a whole 8 damage. That's not too shabby. I think you're good as Mtucks. I think you're good to walk away from this with only taking, 8 damage. There's also no rallies from what we see on the side of Roji.
Yeah, if there was a rally, you might be dead.
Yeah, but I don't think you can play around that at this point, right?
No.
Actually, no, not even. I don't even think you'd be dead because you're killing the Sivir, right?
No, you'd be dead.
8. Oh, no, yeah, because actually it's trading with Trundle thanks to the sharp sight. Yeah, you would be dead.
But that's not the case, and we are going to lucky find onto this Akshan, see what we can find, continue to take down this Warlord Sword towards our Relic of Power. But Mtucks going into turn 8 here, nothing, no great looking option, nothing super appealing. It's probably just going to be like Pillar Trundle Suicide.
So what do we top deck? Iceveil Archer, actually not bad to shut down a future attack turn, so that's a pretty good draw. Field Rush not playable for another turn. Bladed, I gotta say, the Blighted Ravines and the Avalanche not really able to do a lot this game just because of all the buffs. Roji's units are actually pretty healthy at 3 health most of the time, if not higher.
I feel like Mtucks, should take this pass. Surprised that Roji offered that one up. A Treasure Seeker seemed like an extremely non-committal play to keep the tempo going and force another card out of Mtucks.
Mm-hmm. All right, there's a Treasure Seeker. Looking like we're probably going to go for another really wide turn. We can also get the Radiant Guardian down after the fact. I mean, it's not... The lifesteal and all is not really super important in this matchup. You're either dead or you're not when Field of Rush gets played, I think. So,
well, even barring Field of Rush, Mtucks has Ladros Atrocity.
Yeah.
But I do think that FTR is going to be the way that this game ends if Mtuck ends up winning it. But Roji can go very wide this turn. A Field of Rush might actually not be the play for Mtucks this turn, just because, you need to play a little bit more defensively. If there are 5 units on board and you've committed all of your mana into just summoning 2 more, especially with the Pillar being vulnerable, Roji might be able to circumnavigate that a little bit, especially with a 4 Demacia and actually push through the lethal. So I think Mtucks, just going to play out that Iceveil Archer this turn, take the Flash Freeze line, Field of Rush on the attack turn, and without a rally in Roji's hand, I don't see any great tools to deal with these 2 champions.
Yeah, that's really the shortcoming in this game so far. Absolutely no rallies on the side of Roji. And we've seen multiple turns now where Roji might have actually been able to finish off the game. Like, I don't know, probably turn 5, turn 6 at this point if there was a rally, and it's just never coming to fruition. But here we go. We're going to go with an attack here, which is probably going to get the Frostbite out. So we got a Flash Freeze in hand to deal with. Yep, the Vecramian Bruiser.
I think this was a reasonable attack from Roji.
Yeah.
You know, understanding that there is Ice Veil Archer in your opponent's deck, there's a lot of potential for that to punish further development. And, you know, it's nice to present lethal, get one sort of card out of your opponent. They're still off field to rush mana for the turn, so you know that that's not coming until at least next turn. The downside is that when it does come next turn, you die. You are dead.
I'm gonna use a phrase that you usually use on me. Astute observation, Boulevard. Astute. We got Ladros, which could potentially come down.
Eh?
Sorry about that.
Okay. I wasn't sure if you cut out or what.
I'm alive. I'm alive. I'm alive.
I can hear you. So here comes FTR. And of course, the hand disappeared. Yeah, so we can actually kill the Trundle with repost Concerted Strike. So not quite dead this turn, not quite dead next turn either, is only, you know, probably going to block the Tryndamere so that we don't take 10 damage and just die to Atrocity. For Demacia, actually going to be the card coming out. So not even the repost, just going to make sure that we're staying very healthy through this Tryndamere block, as well as, again, going to use the Concerted Strike to take out the Trundle. Roji still has a decent window to try and find this victory.
All right, another Treasure Seeker. This is actually pretty close. I mean, I think Mtucks has been able to stabilize, which is pretty insane with how aggressive Roji's been. I mean, is this matchup really just a difference of whether or not the rallies actually get drawn? I mean, is this what this is coming down to? Because it really feels like that's what's preventing Roji from punching through the final damage.
I think Roji just wins next turn, dude.
If we open attack, I mean, well, okay. If we develop, we have the Ice Veil Archer, but I don't see any reason not to open it. We can Atrocity a unit, right?
Yeah, but I think Roji's just killing the Trundle with the Concerted Strike here. And Mtucks doesn't have Withering Wail or any sort of fast speed removal. Even if we draw Withering Wail, we can't use it in the same breath as the Atrocity. We'll be 1 mana shy of that.
Well, we'll see. Yeah, we'd have 2 blockers.
On top of the fact that Roji's going to draw some cards here or vulnerable and summon another champion, I would imagine it's the vulnerable and summon a champion. You just want to get the strongest open attack possible.
Yeah, no, I mean, technically we live if we Atrocity something, right?
Not if Roji summons a 0 mana strongest unit that died this game.
Let's see what we choose. That's okay. Well, there we go. There's the Bruiser. Yeah, I'm very surprised to see Roji close it out in this manner if this is what's going to happen next turn. We'll see what Mtucks top decks here in a second, but very roundabout way of winning with Akshan Sivir than we're usually used to seeing, especially with there being no Sivir on board, right? There's an Akshan off the top.
Ooh. I don't think Vile Feast changes anything because... Yeah, Vile Feast doesn't change anything here.
Not with the repost, yeah. Yeah, I think we're still able to take home a win here.
You know what that means, though? We get a game 3.
Yeah, and as you mentioned earlier, thank God. No, this is game 2. We're gonna get a game 3. Thank God you can't play Battle Fury and
Atrocity
in the same turn, because that would have been a thing. Not too hot of a play, but yep, there's the repost. That's gonna be the Shen emote. And GrandpaRoji, I was thinking we were going to have a 2-0 there for a second, but Roji tying it up, and we are indeed going to go to a game 3.
As we mentioned, though, it's going to be an uphill battle for Roji in the third game, playing that plunder into the field of rush. But I'm sure that's a matchup that Roji has had to play a couple times throughout the last 2 days. Yeah, pretty comfortable in that kind of situation. Feels like he has the lines in order to properly play around the avalanches and the ravines and things like that. And all these plunder players have been very good at drawing Sejuani into this deck. So we'll see if Roji can keep up the tradition, actually get their way to an OLS victory. I don't believe either of these players have won an online league series before. So it's going to be nice to crown a new champion here as we partner up with Mobalytics for the 35th iteration.
Yeah, and honestly, I mean, both players I know have participated a couple of times in OLS previously, whether it was a really long time ago or recently. Like, I think Roji's participated more so recently. And it's going to be good to see one of these two take it home. But starting off here, we're going to have Plunder versus Field of Rush now. And we got the Jagged Butcher down.
Yeah, this is actually Roji starting off with 2 procs. Oh, actually not going for the Merchant, instead going for the double Jagged Butcher.
I mean, that's a pretty aggressive start. 2
Yeah.
3-3s early on in the game is hard to deal with. All right, that helps. That definitely helps. Kindly Tavern Keeper, such a good card. Stuck around for quite some time now.
It used to be a bad card.
Yeah, I know, yeah. Actually, yeah, wait, what was it? It was a 2-3.
2-3.
That's what it was, yep. I almost forgot about that buff.
Stupid non-fearsome blocker.
Yeah, what is
Blech.
this?
So
Right.
again, continue just getting a Plunder proc every single turn. Actually, this Gangplank will probably come down leveled on turn 5.
Yeah, this is looking really good for the Plunder deck right now. There's a lot of pressure being put on. We're already getting Mtucks down to 13 health. Mtucks does have Trundle, so Trundle could come in as a pretty good blocker here, but we're going to get the Blighted Ravine first to at least clear off this field. And yeah, really focusing on those procs. I think you're right, Boulevard. Gangplank's going to get to a really quick level up. Wow.
Yeah, and just play the Gangplank here, go for a super powerful open attack.
This is like the dream with this deck, right? I mean, this is perfect. If you're able to get on curve Gangplank level, that's insane. And oh, hey, by the way, if this runs out of steam, we have our own Field of Rush, possibly before Mtucks even gets their own Field of Rush off.
Yeah, but Mtuck's going to be able to avalanche as well, and that is going to set up this Gangplank into the 2 Vile Feasts. Luckily for Roji, those Spiderlings are going to come out before the Powderful Explosion resolves.
Yeah.
Meaning that they will die. They will not be sticking around. But this Gangplank is sort of what Roji was, I don't want to say all-inning on, but this was their big power play. And to see it dealt with so handedly is definitely disheartening.
Yeah, just a lot of damage coming out from Mtucks. So now
we got Field of Rush.
Yeah, I was just going to say, we have Field of Rush, but the unfortunate, I mean, we still can't play that for 3 more turns, Boulevard. This is
not if we nab a cheaper one.
Yeah.
Not if we nab a cheaper one.
And okay, Ruination's not terrible, but again, ruinating a Field of Rush, you're still gonna have the Tryndamere to deal with. So not the greatest response, but probably something we're gonna have to do. There it is.
Well, I gotta say, Roji's Field of Rush is better. He's already leveled his champions. The Gangplank Sejuani combo is very powerful. Worth noting though, the Field of Rush will come down on Mtucks' attack turn.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
which means that Roji needs something to utilize that Sejuani.
And I don't know if the Trundle is going to get leveled before we play Field of Rush, because we keep having to play these Blighted Ravines to deal with the board of Roji. So we haven't been able to get this Trundle down. So we finally get it down. It looks like we will be able to get the level up alongside the Field of Rush. And that's going to be a huge difference, because we do already have Atrocity too. So although GrandpaRoji's Field of Rush might be better, we have the attack token with Field of Rush Boulevard. If we can get a big attack in and then Atrocity, I think Mtucks might be able to just seal the deal here.
Yeah, I think Mtucks takes this one. Roji's probably going to have to ruinate Mtucks' Field of Rush. Just because, oh, actually, we have a warning shot. Never mind. We drew the warning shot.
Yep. Yeah, so that's going to Frostbite. If all right, well, I was not expecting this at all.
In the Plunder v
what?
In the Plunder v FTR matchup, I didn't think I'd see both players awkwardly posturing where they each have a Ruination and a Field of Rush.
Play it.
So what Mtucks is going for here, I believe, is that if Roji plays Field of Rush, he dies to Atrocity.
Okay. Yeah.
So Mtucks has the stronger board, which means he doesn't have to pull the trigger first.
Yeah. No.
And Roji doesn't have as good of a punish for Mtucks pulling the trigger.
And honestly, if Roji doesn't play Field of Rush, like, what else are you doing? Like, that is not
waiting to find a Sejuani,
Yeah.
which is not the situation that you want to be in when you thought you had such a powerful hand.
That's not a game-winning play to just wait to
No.
draw a card. And even if the Ruination's played, same deal. We just pull the trigger on Atrocity. There's really GrandpaRoji stuck between a rock and a hard place right now. Any of your big power plays are just going to get completely punished with a loss, with losing the game.
It's worth noting that the Blighted Ravine still does not get Roji out of the woods. It'll put him back down to 8 health after the proc goes off, and that is enough for Trundle to still kill you with Atrocity.
Yeah, exactly. So, like, yeah, great. You play Ruination now. We still play Atrocity. We still lose thanks to your own card. At least you go out on your own terms. So there's that, I guess.
It would be so funny if Mtucks was like, "Oh, he played Ravine, time to Atrocity to the face," and then Roji found a way to run out 4 other units and then overwrite the Bladed Ravine.
That would be interesting. We do have 1 course there. Not quite enough.
Yeah, we have
one unit.
5.
We only need like 5 more units. It's fine. It's fine. 4 more units. Oh, there it is. We're just gonna do it. We're saying, you know what? Yeah, we can't play around it.
Like you said, if Roji's not feeling the rush this turn, what are they doing? The answer is Ruination, and that is just going to be the Atrocity from Mtucks with no way for Roji to either gain life or overwrite their own Blighted Ravine. Yep. They are going to die by the nabbed sword at the beginning of the round, and Mtucks, in his first online league series, will be a champion.
Mtucks, baby. And all right, so at the end of the game, what's better, the Shen emote or the fist bump?
Definitely Shen. I don't understand what that fist bump, because like the fist bump emote, one of the fists is so small. It looks so weird.
I mean, yeah, I do agree the fist bump looks a little funky. And Shen's like OG, right? Shen's
like, you can't replace Shen. I mean, so apparently Tea Time Caitlyn is power crept Sweaty Ezreal, but nothing is power crept. Shen is still the king.
Now, you said I could have sworn Mtucks has been in other OLSs. Are you sure Mtucks didn't compete in the very early days of OLS?
Mtucks said this was his first one.
Mtucks, are you lying? Mtucks, are you lying? I'm gonna look. I'm checking.
So